Wednesday!
Hello and welcome to Henry Willer's Movie Reviews, and today I'm going to be starting my new feature, Disasterpieces, where I take a look at some of the worst films ever made and determine if they're so bad that they transcend the hideousness to become actually quite entertaining. Fuck off, honestly, fucking cunt. And we're going to be starting with the very bottom of the barrel of British cinema, Sex Lives of the Potato Men. I don't really know a huge amount about this film other than it stars Johnny Vegas, not a film star, and Mackenzie Crook, also not a film star, although he was in the Pirates of the Caribbean films, but yeah. Great in The Office, but everywhere else, This was cited back in the day as an example of the poor use of public funds in order to make films such as this. It was not well regarded at all. I think up until Keith Lemon the film came out, it was widely regarded to be the worst film from the UK. I don't have high hopes for this, but you never know. I might be somewhat entertained by it, but I believe it's supposed to be a comedy, and most So Bad That They're Good films are funny because they are taken seriously and fail at every possible hurdle. Let's just get this over with. Regarding the plot, it's what it sounds like. It's about the sex lives of potato delivery men. This was just depressing. The amount of great performers in this film, it's really impressive just how dreadful the end result is. Johnny Vegas is a very funny man, Mackenzie Crook as well, but you also have Mark Gatiss, Lucy Davis, Julie Davis, and even Adrian Chiles has a cameo in this as the host of a sex party at his house. Mark Gatiss' character is a stalker who spies on his ex and obsessively contacts her sending letters, and in one scene spies on her with a pair of binoculars to see she's moved in with a new boyfriend, and then moves to another window seeing a woman in a bra and just starts masturbating, which is lovely. You're a grown man, for fuck's sake. This has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is quite a feat. And Wikipedia stated that critics disliked the film intensely. The wording of that made me laugh more than anything in the film did. As stated earlier, it was controversially given £1 million of National Lottery funding, a commonplace of filmmaking in the UK, but the fact it went to this, it's really sad. Mark Kermode described it as absolutely indescribably horrible, vulgar, stupid, tawdry, depressing, embarrassing, filthy, vile, stinky, repugnant, unclean, nasty, degenerative, and mind-numbing. And I'd say that's about right. The thing is, the songs on the soundtrack are all good. You've got Ace of Spades, Dreaming of You, Message to You, Rudy. Even one of the themes that they use on It's Always Sunny.
Orgy.
But the use of them is just really flaccid, if you pardon the pun. For example, there is a scene which Orgasm Addict by the Buzzcocks plays, and it features a character with a strawberry jam fetish who likes putting it on women's private parts, and he gets a smoked fish and uses it as a makeshift vagina with strawberry jam put on it, of course. All of this while he's on a sex line, and his friend, played by Johnny Vegas, is sat next to them on the sofa, trying to ignore that he's wanking directly adjacent to him.
You put me off my breakfast.
It's absolutely vile. He later does the same, but with an octopus. Johnny Vegas' character is a complete wastrel who contributes nothing to anyone particularly. His marriage falls apart because he doesn't even do the bare minimum, leaving his wife to kick him out, and subsequently living with the previously mentioned guy with the strawberry jam fetish, and also trying to finally start having casual sex with other people, which leads him to go to this girl's house who invited him for a threesome years ago. Her brother shows up at the door and he tells the brother,
With respect to the threesome, it's a thumbs up. It's just that she asked me if I'd be interested, but, you know, I was still with my wife at the time, so...
Is that information necessary?
The threesome with your sister would be superb right now. Tell her it's urgent!
Something that's also concerning was that even the non-sexual elements, I didn't laugh once. There's a scene with a discussion about bees and wasps, and there's kind of similar discussions throughout. Like, there's jokes about not being able to find a parking space, and this kind of really redundant back and forth conversations that don't elicit as much as a snigger, and sounds like something that I would have written when I was trying to be a screenwriter. And part of the reason why I stopped that dream was out of fear of making something as dreadful as this. You know, I don't want that kind of failure to be out there publicly. I wouldn't be able to live it down. And I had a look at the writer-director Andy Humphrey's credits on IMDb, and he did nothing of note after this. Like, a few things in TV, very sparingly, but that's it. And it's not surprising considering this is a career killer. For a film that tries in parts, I guess maybe, to be sexy, out of all the reasons why it's not, the most egregious is the fact that it's set in Birmingham, which has one of the worst accents imaginable. And I know Peaky Blinders is giving it some kind of credibility, but no, I can't accept that this could be anything other than deeply unappealing. You know, I don't want to have someone go, alright, you want to come over to my house for a quick fumble? No, I don't. The sexual elements are just rather grotesque. I mean, I've already covered the strawberry jam fetish guy, but there's a ludicrous scene involving an elderly woman wanting to see Mackenzie Crook's character's dick.
Jones says you've got a big cock.
And this joke about how, I can't bend over, I'd like to suck it, but I can't bend over, my back's bad.
Well, I can't get down there with my back.
And then the woman that he's living with...
He'll stand on a chair. Stand on a chair, Ferris.
I'm not standing on a chair.
What the fuck is this? It's just deeply unfunny. I can sort of see what they were going for, but... I don't hear laughs. I hear tumbleweeds rolling. However, I do give it some brownie points for not being homophobic. I know it's a very low bar, but of all the offensive things that could be in this, homophobia, thankfully, isn't one of them. There is a threesome scene with Johnny Vegas, and while he's surprised to hear the third person involved is another man, he makes small talk with him, and when they get to it, he just gets on with it. So, fair play there, even if it is rather depressing that I'm giving brownie points to a film for not being hateful. Although just after I wrote that bit of analysis, Johnny Vegas' character says,
I don't want to sound like a complete puff, but I used to like talking to my wife.
well, there we go then. I take back what I said. It's apparently gay to enjoy talking to women as if they're human beings. We're back to square one. Talking to brownie points, there's a scene where Julie Davis recalls picking up dog poo and putting it in a blender with water and placing it in a super soaker to spray it all around the rooms of the house of her ex, which I'm not going to show because it's absolutely repulsive, but it looks like actual poo that was used, and there's this small montage showing all of it being picked up. It made me feel sick. I thought perhaps this might be one of those films that's just considered terrible due to its sexual politics, given the title of the film, but it's reasonably okay in those aspects, I guess. It's just really grotty and unpleasant to watch, though. I had to pause it so many times just to have a break from it. How so many talented people could be in such a atrocious piece of shit is honestly remarkable. I really wonder how the hell this got made. Who greenlit this? I'm just imagining Andy Humphries pitching this idea. I can't imagine anyone agreeing to fund this, but clearly they did, so... with public funding as well. Oh, and there's a bestiality joke at the end as well, so... wonderful. I'm gonna give this a 0 out of 10. I really don't think I've been as deflated watching something before. And I'm not trying to be funny here, it really ruined my day, and I don't really want to have to think about it anymore. Is this a disaster piece? If we're using the term disaster piece to be equated to a barometer of so bad it's good, then no. This is just completely retrograde, lowest common denominator trash. If anyone finds this funny, then good for you, I suppose, but I would seek medical help. So those are my thoughts on Sex Lives of the Potato Man. If you've seen it, which you probably haven't, it's on YouTube if you want to check it out at your peril, then let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Letterboxd here. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.